to the low vibe fan out there, man. To the low vibe fan out there. Welcome to the Stoic Knicks fan, episode number 2. This message is for the low vibration fan out there. Johnny come lately, the overreactors, the guys that flap in the wind. Like I tell you, man, I don't flap in the wind. I'm a flag. I'm firmly planted. But the idea that the Knicks can't beat anybody that's contenders, even if we didn't beat them in the regular season, is that still with y'all? Is that still with y'all, or did the Knicks need to do something different? Explain it to me, because I need to know which narrative of the week we need to roll with, or is this, this is different. I don't know. The Knicks had a great game today. Not a perfect game by any stretch of the means, but I didn't watch I didn't watch the Milwaukee game, but I did watch today, and Knicks have been cooking the last two games, right? Milwaukee right now is without Giannis. They're a lottery team, and the Spurs, based on being a 2 seed, are contenders. Been playing excellent basketball on an 11-game win streak, hot as all outdoors, and ran into the Knicks today. Now, again, it's like this, I keep saying this, I don't get too high, I don't get too low. I don't get too high, I don't get too low. I tell people all the time, save your spiel about history. History is not keeping the Knicks from winning a championship. Competency might be. And at some point, the Knicks have now proven themselves to be a competent organization. Not a poverty franchise, but a competent organization. Okay? Again, I continue to say this. I think a lot of people think that the league is what they want. People want the league to be what they've imagined it to be in the past, or what has been. Basically in the past. And again, people live in the past. And I said from 2020, the beginning of this decade, that the league will not see a repeat champion. That's why, though, for those Laker fans that tell you after they won the bubble that they were going to win again. Okay, if they were going to win again, why didn't they fix the situation the year after they didn't make the playoffs? You don't have, and again, people will use this information against me when I'm the one that kind of predicted the information in the first place, that you won't have repeat champions. It is very hard to keep groups together. There is a level of parity. There are as I said, about 9 to 10 teams. Funny, San Antonio wasn't one of them that I had at the beginning of the season. I knew they would be improved, but they have completely exceeded our expectations. And the Knicks have been slightly disappointed. But it seems like, and again, the Knicks have a top 5 in the league record. They are the 3rd seed. They are better than everybody. Record-wise, they're better than everybody outside of San Antonio and OKC. And then you got the Pistons, you got the Celtics and the Pistons. So the Knicks have won one game official, 2 games if you count the in-season tournament. They're 2-1 against the Spurs, 2-1 against Celtics, and 0-3 against the Detroit Pistons. And if you count, so 3-5 officially, 4-5 against the rest of the time. We haven't played OKC yet. Again, what point do you cut it off? Because then the Knicks are 2-1. The Knicks beat Denver. The Knicks beat Houston. The Knicks beat Philadelphia 2 out of 3. The Knicks beat Philadelphia 2 out of 3. What's the other team? Cleveland, they beat 2 out of 3. I know they just recently lost with Harden. I understand. I get that part. Right? I get that part. But at what part do you where's the cutoff? The top 10? So, I mean, look, I'm not one, because again, I got to walk this line. I'm not one to say that there's nothing to be gained for the regular season, and the regular season doesn't matter. Obviously, there are things to be taken for the regular season matchups. But when you have head-to-head victories against a Detroit, when you have head-to-head victories in the playoffs, I'm telling you, against a Detroit, against a Boston, against a Cleveland recently, and again, it's like, oh, well, the regular season didn't matter then. No, like it. I mean, I'll put it this way: you gauge more from the playoffs because you're facing a team in a series of games, and again, I get it. Teams can change from year to year. That's very true. Teams can get better from year to year. Very, very true. There's nothing but truth to that statement. And so what you glean from the teams you play, in certain scenarios, like the playoffs, you take forward. Again, I've said for years, the Knicks match up well with the Celtics. I said last year when we lost all 4 games, we match up well with the Celtics. Now look, yes, that Detroit do some things that give the Knicks problems. Detroit is a physical team. I don't know about very physical. People thinking they're the bad boys and shit like that. I mean, they know how to use their physicality. They're disciplined with it. They're a deep team. And those are the things. I will say this, noticing the games, it felt like Detroit was trying to prove something to the Knicks, and the Knicks weren't. Now, I'm not using that. I'm not making an excuse. I'm not using it as a cop-out. But there's a lot of facts to that statement. Detroit was trying to prove something. They was trying to prove a lot. And it was clear and evident. It was clear. They circled this game on their calendar. Now, could the Knicks have responded? Yes. Should the Knicks have played better? Yes. Did the Knicks quit on all 3 of those games? Yes, they did. But the idea that this is how it's going to go in the playoffs, again, Detroit, you've seen what Boston did last year. How did that work out? And again, you want to keep saying last year was last year and this year is this year. Well, by the same token, if you feel that way, then 50 years ago was 50 years ago. And your playoff series drought and the Knicks championship, you can't have it both ways. And that's what all these fans love to do. They want it both ways. They want to, the Knicks ain't winning 50 years. But if I bring up recent history, well, that don't matter. It was last year. Again, I get it. NBA fans was, which I really can't stand NBA fans, to be honest. But NBA fans, they love to be full of confirmation bias. Everything is, and again, maybe I'm guilty of confirmation bias to a point. But to a point, I do have an overview. I can see Detroit giving us problems. But I can also say that what you saw in the regular season ain't necessarily indicative of how it's going to go in the playoffs. And there's so many reasons to understand why. If you understand basketball, it's more than, I mean, right now, again, if the Pistons, it seems, because again, here's my thing. If the Pistons went out and beat the Knicks and beat Washington, like the last time they played the Knicks, they overlooked Washington and got beat, and then lost to the Knicks coming out of the beat the hell out of the Knicks. And these were belt to asses. I'm not going to deny that by any stretch of the imagination. These were belt to ass whoopings. Detroit deserves credit for how they played, but that don't mean you conquered the master. You went 0-3 in your own arena against the Knicks. You were 0-3. 0-3. Okay? In your own arena. So, I'm just saying, by law of averages, that needs to be worked out before you work out, before you think the regular season matchups have absolved you. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I get it. It was a competitive series. The Pistons were a good team. They're a competitive. They're a heavy team. Like, they're physical. They're not a team that you just take lightly. And I get it. Maybe the Knicks did take them too lightly, and maybe they will give the Knicks problems. But that's not necessarily a lockdown. Put it in the books type of take. It's not going to necessarily happen. It's not necessarily going to happen. It's not necessarily going to play out that way come playoff time. And again, you might not even see the Knicks. Now, again, if we go in the conference finals, okay, you will now be an experienced team. But I believe that the lack of experience is going to hurt the Pistons. Again, San Antonio, another team with lack of playoff experience. But again, if these are the teams, the regular teams with the great regular season record, if they're the measuring sticks, I mean, again, I'm not trying to. Yes, I get it. People were taught, well, the Knicks didn't take that and won the championship, and you're right. But regardless of the fact, and I keep saying this, you can't do anything about the playoffs until the playoffs. You can't do nothing. I used to hear all of this about Randall doing the playoffs. Well, Randall can't do it until the play. Randall can have 60-point game, but doing the playoffs. People love to confirm their biases. This is just the nature of the game, the nature of the business. Confirmation bias is something else, man. And again, I can even cop to being guilty of it myself. But the difference between me and some of them is that I don't have a problem. I see the overview. I can see both sides of the coin. So I understand it ain't necessary just because did A happen, that B will happen. I do see the other angles. I do see, again, the Pistons do. But again, the fact that the Pistons play better against the Knicks than they do against everybody else. And this was the situation with Boston last year. Again, I see Boston go into New York, win big, and then go the next night or go 2 nights later to either Brooklyn or Washington and struggle. And that's what made me see, you guys are frauds. You guys wanted to send a message to the Knicks because you heard so much of how the Knicks match up well with Boston, which is, again, a take that I had for years. It's not something that I just had a revelation about. For years I said the Knicks match up well with Boston because they did. They did. The matchups were, and again, I get it. Oh, those were regular season matchups, bro. Yeah, I get it. But we were still built eerily similar. One thing, Boston was able to take off from ahead of the Knicks. Number one, they got Jason Tatum and Brown, which, better superstars than we had. I can't deny that. But Boston also had Drew Holiday. They beat us to trading back for Porzingis, which, again, some of those things were gifts and some of those things were curses. Trading for Porzingis, yeah, you got a very talented center. But goddamn it, is he not more injury prone than Mitchell Robinson? And yes, he's not a great rebounder, good 3-point shooter, very good 3-point shooter. But the obvious limitations, and that this man is going to be hurt more than he's going to be available. Now this guy's he went from Atlanta to go to State. He went to Dallas, he went to Washington, Boston. Has he played for the Nets? God damn it. But that's what I mean. This is what I mean. But again, the fact that Boston plays so well against us, and they will be mediocre against an average team or a bad team the next night. See, that's the problem. You wanted to turn on against the Knicks, and then you were overconfident, and your fan base, everybody was overconfident coming into the playoffs, and that's the thing. I'm not overconfident against the Pistons. I give the Pistons their proper respect. They are a team to be reckoned with. But are they necessarily the front runners? I'm sorry. You don't have a great second scorer unless you're telling me Duren, and I'm talking about a second-grade perimeter scorer, because Duren is an all-star this year. Duren is pretty good. But my thing is, he ain't the guy. First of all, he's the big man, so he's dependent on people getting him the ball. And like Cade himself, not a good outside shooter. Cade I'm gonna say Cade is the MVP. But just because he's the MVP don't mean he's gonna be the best player in the playoffs. He does not have the most experience. He does show that he can be chasing the bad shots and high turnovers. So there are things to take away that, same thing with San Antonio. They just kind of got San Antonio's number. Come playoff time, they're gonna have both the confidence factor and the experience. See, the Pistons right now have a very good confidence factor. They're 6-1 versus the Knicks over the last 2 years. Actually, they won the last 6 regular season matchups. But it does not erase the 2-4 in the playoffs. Doesn't erase it. So you're 2-4 in the playoffs, and you're 0-3 in your own home arena. And that's the issue. Till you get over that, the Knicks, it's like the Knicks are living rent free in your head. And I see a lot of Pistons fans coming all over, and they're all in the DMs, they're all in the chats, and again, I get it. The rivalry is for y'all. It's like I guess maybe Bulls fans who were a little arrogant, and when Knicks felt they were coming for them. But you got to bring the ruckus. You got to bring the war. And look, you might win, but the idea that it's a fait accompli because you won some regular season matchups and by blowouts means nothing to us. Not to us, not to me. Maybe some casual Knicks fans. There's a lot of casual Knicks fans. But can we call off the dumb narrative that we can't beat good teams? We beat one today. It's the second time we beat them. We really, all intents and purposes, could have beat them in 3 games this year. Because we kind of choked it down the stretch. 10-point lead. Wemby goes out the lineup, doesn't come back in the game. It is what it is, man. So, again, it's my 3rd time trying to record this video. But I just hope one of those bad narratives is put to bed. The Knicks can be good teams. The Knicks are in the mix. The Knicks are not overrated. There's too many facts. Like I said, the Knicks are number 1 defense since Martin Luther King Day. And I say, and I reference that date because that was the day when the Knicks were on that 2-9 swoon, and we took a bad loss to a bad Dallas team. A bad wire-to-wire loss on the Martin Luther King matinee, which we normally win, and from there has been a turning point. So, in March 1st, last year, I saw a Minnesota team. It was around 500. Actually go to the conference finals from what they did on March 1st. So, again, Knicks start off March with a bang. Beat beat the hottest team in the league, number 2 seed in the West. More to come. On to the next one. And that's what the Stoic Knicks fan will always be about. On to the next game. I don't get too high. I don't get too low. So you ain't got to DM me every day. You ain't got to inbox me every day about every single win and loss. Again, Knicks gonna win more than they're gonna lose. They're a good team. They're a very good team. Are they an excellent, great team? Or are they an all-time team? No. Right now, again, we would have to bring the effort more consistently, and we're not. I'll get into the issues with Towns and Brown a little bit later. But I just want that narrative out. I just want that narrative out there. Hey, the Knicks. Hey, look, Mom. The Knicks can be good teams. Peace.